What up YouTube, Radio Controlled Chaos here. I know you guys have been wanting a update from me. I'm sorry I haven't got one out. I've just been caught up in a bunch of things going around other than the hobby. Been cleaning around the shop, so the Radio Controlled Chaos shop is nice and clean now. But now that everything is clean, we have a chance to go ahead and work on some of our cars and show you a little bit of it. Today we're going to be talking about the Rustler. I did try to bring out a video for you guys. I really did. The problem I had with it is I was doing a running video with the Rustler, and it just wanted to just break down on me. As soon as I brought out the camera, it just broke down. Every other day I was testing it, it was totally fine. It was working 100%. As soon as I bring out the camera, just goes to shit. Anyways, but we have the car in front of us, so I'm basically going to go over what I'm planning on doing with it, what in actuality is wrong with it, and what you guys think about some of the ideas I have going on. So let's get into it. And first thing you guys might notice is it hasn't changed that much ever since we saw it last, other than the wheels and tires. Now these wheels and tires I had for a while. They are the stock wheels and tires from the Rustler, just painted black with some sick Proline trenchers on it. And I mean, honestly, if you have a Stampede 4x4, you really got to get those tires. Those things look beast on that car. I would say other words, but might be children watching, so I'm sorry about that. So trying to keep it PG here, guys. So basically, the car itself, well, what was happening was, one, I was having some issues with the ESC, and I had to program that. So what I went down to my hobby shop, picked up myself a Castle Link system, one of those little connectors they have, so you plug into your USB port into the receiver end of the ESC and program it through your laptop. You get the program from their website and you just basically program it. It's pretty damn easy. You could do it. I mean, I think the sensor's like, I believe 20 to 30 bucks. I'm not sure, depending where you get it from, depending on the time of this video you guys are watching. I don't know. But let me get into it. So ESC had problems. Steering had problems. I didn't know what was going on. For some weird reason, I would steer really good to one way, but the other way, it was garbage. So I had to go into that. So as well as that being the issue with the car, I also ran into another one. So the ESC is bad. Had to reprogram it, worked that bug out. The servo was bad, or the steering was bad. I kind of worked that one out. It's still not 100%, but it is what it is. So I went ahead and I purchased a wheelie bar for the rig from my local hobby shop. I got it in black. I really didn't care what color it was. I just needed one. I picked one up. I got it. I put it on. Pretty simple installation. Comes with all the hardware you need, so it was pretty easy to install it. I needed it because it was constantly popping wheelies. As much as this modification in the shell I did, I don't know if I went over this with you guys, but this actual cutting out the shell was not for style, was not for flair, was not for, oh look, it's so cool, stuff like that. Although it kind of does look cool. It was actually for giving me downforce. This is actually speaker meshing from like cars and audios and stuff like that. Speaker meshing that you could just find anywhere. You could pick it up from your store, local hardware store around you, or AutoZone store, depending where you are in the world. And you just buy it, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut it out, and you're going to hot glue gun it into the shell. And you're going to cut out all the ports, and it actually stiffens up your shell a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. It stiffens up your shell way much. Really good. This actually allows air to flow in from the front and push down onto the chassis, and that keeps the car on the road. But sometimes it necessarily doesn't work the best compared to weight. And as you guys have seen on GeoStealth R1's Rustler, which is a sick vehicle, he put weight in the front. And as much as a lot of guys are putting weight in the front, I really didn't want to, because I didn't want to make the car heavier than what it was. So I mean, that's the idea I did. It still worked hell of a lot better than what it was from factory. But I might need weight in the front, I'm not sure. But the wheelie bar is definitely helping it. On the lowest setting with the wheelie bar, this thing hooks up really good off the line. And I'm surprised how fast it gets off the line too. So one of the things I've did with it is I've gone into the ESC. And I went ahead and I've changed. This is a kind of risky move. Some of these guys that don't know what they're doing, this could affect your RC big time. I went into the motor and I changed the timing of the motor to be faster. That could be risky in two ways. One, if you're running high gears, which I am, and your motor's running a pretty high temperature or warm temperature after running 15 minutes, you turn it to higher speed tuning, your higher speed motor, the timing of the motor, I'm sorry, you will make your motor get hotter quicker, and your battery will get hotter quicker, and your run time will be less. So I wasn't that worried about it. I was going to test it. I knew if I pushed it too much, the car can get ruined. So I did my research. I checked out what I can do, how I can do it. I started doing testing, studies, everything about it. Like, I was all up in this thing. Finally, I figured out I'm just going to do it. I went ahead, I changed the ESC timing for the motor, and it's hell of a lot different. The car just comes alive. It's seriously way more faster than what it was running from factory. I don't know if the factory settings were a little bit lower than what I had it at, but when you put up to high timing, it just flies. I mean, it improves the miles an hour a little bit better. So of course I did that. Now, heating issues with the car. I ran 2 batteries through non-stop, and the motor did not get hot enough for me to bring off my hands or fingers off of it in less than 3 seconds holding it on. So it was good. It was working totally fine. Plus, on top of that, when I go into the future with this, which I'm going to tell you right now, the ideas I have about this car, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be notching out this little piece of plastic here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's zoom in on that. This piece of plastic right here, I'm going to notch that out. I'm going to be putting the original fan the car came with for the motor. So, you know, that's something I was going to do with it. Put that on, keeps the motor nice and cool. I like keeping my motors ice cold if I can. It just improves the car, improves the life. It's really nice. So, with that being said, I'm surprised how cool the motor's staying with this amount of gearing ratio in it. I mean, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I'm running a 76 spur with, I believe, a 32 tooth pinion, and that's pretty amped up there. But with that being said, I still don't think it's fast enough. I still think it can go faster. Right now, with my calculations using the RC calculator, you guys can look it up on Google, I am hitting, I believe, 76.8 miles an hour right now. That, for me, I like it, but I think it could go so much faster, especially with the motor running cool. And plus the fan making it even colder, we can get up to way more faster. So basically what I'm running is the Castle Sidewinder SCT system. 90 bucks, you get it, you throw it in. The question I had and asked myself was, if I paid $90 for this system, and I'm already hitting 70 miles an hour, a little bit over 70 miles an hour, I wonder if I can get this car to 100 miles an hour without blowing up the motor. And running on a 2-cell LiPo, that would be something cool to see. So I would love to go with the Mama Monster setup, but I could just see how heavy the car would become if you do that. You're putting 2 3-cell lipos in there. That's going to weigh down the car. Plus that metal, you know, transmission case. That's going to weigh down the car. You know, all these little things are going to weigh down the car. Now, of course, it stiffens up the car putting a metal, you know, transmission case in there. But that amount of weight on the transmission case plus the amount of batteries and the motor and the ESC and all these other stuff, it's just going to start weighing down the back end of the car, and what you're going to have is just more wheelies. That's why guys put weight in the front. And what happens is you're playing a game of gravity almost. You're constantly putting weight here in the car, there in the car, just trying to make the weight even so the car stays on the road and just goes. But if you make the car light and put cheap motors in there, lightweight batteries, I seriously think you can get to 100 miles an hour. So what I was going to do was, I'm almost there. I've calculated with the motor running max timing with the fan on both ESC and motor, I go ahead, I change out my tooth pinion gear because I can't go smaller on spur gear. That's the smallest spur gear they have, to my knowledge. If I were to go smaller on spur gear, I would have to go to the old-fashioned version, the old school Rustler style spur gear, and I don't want to do that. So what is this left with me? So sorry, what is this left me with? So what that means is that I'm gonna have to go ahead and change my pinion gear to the maximum I can go, and the maximum I can go in this motor case right now is 45 tooth. And that is a big number, pinion gear. And I've checked it, and A-Main Hobbies has it, and guess what? I've ordered it. It's coming in. I'm putting that thing in there. I calculated it, and it says on the RC, you know, calculation speed, I don't even know the real name of it. I gotta find out for you guys. I'll put it in the description. It says that if I put a 45 tooth pinion gear with the same setup I'm running right now, I should be able to reach over 100 miles an hour. Now, of course, that is with the motor and the wheels and the car basically sitting like this, going like that. I can see it easily reaching 100 miles an hour. But the car on the floor reaching 100 miles an hour, it says it reaches 122 miles an hour. On the floor, probably a little bit slower, probably 100, 110, 105, but still, that's hella fast. And what I was going to do is, I know that's going to be a lot of strain on that motor, right? But I don't think it's going to be so much strain because it's really torquey of a motor. I was going to go ahead and I was going to change out the chassis to carbon fiber chassis from Energy. Change out the upper chassis to the carbon fiber one. Change out the bulkheads and everything I can to just lighter aluminum. This different thing. I'm going to be comparing plastic with aluminum, trying to figure out which was lighter. If it has to be plastic, I'll go ahead and go order RPM parts. Just totally deck out the car as light as it could be without messing up the whole entire geometry and everything of the suspension. So with that being said, is I kept noticing my tires are ballooning up big time. So what I decided to do is go order me some low profile street tires, right? Now these are old rims I had for my Slash, which I don't have anymore. But basically, I don't know if you guys can get a focus on that. What the heck? I forget it. Anyways, it's basically low profile tires. I can send a description in the box below if you guys want to know what type of brand it is. They were pretty nice. They were low profile. The problem I had with these tires was not necessarily ballooning, was the tire kept ripping off the rim because it was glued on. I had to glue it on. And any RC guy would tell you, gluing on your tires to your rims yourself, it's a pain in the butt. It really is. And you don't get as good as a seal as you would like to factory glued wheels and tires. I don't know how factory does it. They glue it like permanently and nice. So this didn't work out. And from the tire keep coming off on a run, as you can see right there, it keep coming off. You know, my whole entire foam inside is just gone. Look at that. Just totally gone. So I will go ahead and replace the foam in those tires, repaint them, and put them on another car. But they aren't going to last with this. These tires, that's a joke to be running that fast with these tires. Are you kidding me? That would be stupid, because you're just going to ask for the tire to come off the rim. But one of the things I had problem with this is, I don't know if you guys can see that, the hex in that rim is completely stripped. So, and it's not just one, it's the two front ones, because they were used to be in the back and they got stripped in the back, so I have to bring them in the front. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and go buy me a new pair of these rims, take off these tires because they're still nice and good, go ahead and repaint the rims, put the tires on it, glue it, and use that for my other kits. But for this one, we are going to go get some new rims and tires eventually. I'm still looking at some. I don't know which one to buy, guys. I really don't know which one's the best one to get. I looked into the carbon fiber ones that GeoStealth R1 had for a while. Then they got some OFNA RC ones. But one I was actually looking at was pretty nice, and I think it would look really nice with the car. Especially the color scheme I'm gonna go with. It was gonna be a X01 wheels. In the rear, they're gonna go the fat wide ones, and in the front, probably the narrow ones. But I'm not too sure. Maybe the fat ones in the front too. I'm not sure. But those guys on this car, with the color scheme I'm thinking about, it would look really nice. And it, you know, to give you guys a hint on the color scheme, it's already on the car. You know, a very little piece of it. I'm going to be going green, guys. Because I've always wanted a green car. Totally decked out green. If you guys think about any other color schemes, you know, let me know in the comment box below. Definitely like to know what else you guys think, because I have so many cars. I really don't know. I really don't know what type of color scheme to go with. So green was in my mind. If you guys have any other colors in mind that you think would look nice on it, you know, let me know. One of them was orange, but I have so many cars orange. I have probably 10-15 cars that are orange, so orange is kind of worn out on me. Yellow, I only have 2 cars yellow. Red, this body and a mini little Losi in the background over there, that's the only one that I have red. Not that many cars red. Blue, I think I have 3 cars. Black, probably have like 5 or 6. Silver, I think I only have 1 silver. But oh, and I have 1 green drifter body, but yeah, so I don't know what color to go with it. If you guys know one, let me know. Make it look nice, make it look sweet. Definitely see if we can reach 100 miles an hour. And don't worry about the shocks and stuff like that. That's all gonna go. I mean, everything is gonna go. Eventually, probably some nice, stiff, Proline shocks. Something like that. So, if you guys enjoy this video, want to see more of the Rustler, want to see more of the build videos coming up with it, you know, subscribe. If you like this video, press the thumbs up button on the bottom. If you have any comments, comment in the comment box below. This is Radio Controlled Chaos signing out. See you guys later, YouTube.